Hey, how's it going everyone? Mick Ambrose from All About Tech. Welcome back to another video. Today's video I'm going to be doing a comparison between several different Android Go phones. This is the I almost said Xiaomi then. This is not the Xiaomi. This is the Electroneum M1 smartphone. And I've been telling you how awesome I think it is for the price point. I'm going to be looking at price compared to specs, stacking everything up against each other, and then I'm going to be giving my determination as to whether or not this is good bang for your buck or not. Now, obviously I've already gone through the specs of the M1. The first phone I want to talk about, and it's the one that will probably come up the most, is obviously Samsung's equivalent. You know, Samsung's Galaxy J2 Core is their smartphone that they've introduced to have Android Go, and Android Go was made to go to the areas to get more people that didn't have access to smartphones to have them. And the reason why I'm only including smartphones with Android Go is because there may be some smartphones that have Android that are like half the price of all of these on this list here today, but they are all garbage. They don't run well whatsoever, and you don't want to put a name to your brand like that. You don't want to produce something that's just outright that much of a mess, you know. So going to the Galaxy J2 Core, obviously runs the same technology. You're going to have that 4G capability. You've got similar dimensions. You still got dual SIM which is micro SIM. You've got a slightly better display on the Galaxy J2 Core. The display on the I almost said Xiaomi again. Jeez. The display on the Electroneum M1 is 480 by 854. This is 540 by 960, so it's got it's got an edge on it in terms of the display. Again, Android 8.1 Oreo Go Edition, exactly the same. It's got a similar chipset. This chipset is better. It's running a 14nm process instead of the 28nm process. Mali T720. Yes, the Mali T720 is the exact same GPU as what's in this, so no difference there whatsoever. Micro SD card. This supports up to 256 gigs of storage, which is absolute madness. This only supports up to 32 gigs, it's stated. But if you're buying a phone of this entry level, you're not going to be storing high like that much on your phone, I wouldn't have thought. 8 gigabytes of storage with a gigabyte of RAM, exactly the same as this. 8 megapixel by that's the main camera, sorry, 8 megapixel rear camera with a 5 megapixel selfie camera. Better than the M1, unfortunately, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Because you're about to see why it's got these extra things in a second. But loudspeaker, yes. 3.5mm headphone jack, yes. Exactly the same with the M1. The M1 has that as well. GPS, yes. Bluetooth 4.2 on the Galaxy. This has Bluetooth 4.0. But you won't notice any difference or anything like that. Micro USB on both have an accelerometer. The battery is considerably larger on the Samsung. It's actually a lot larger. That's a 2600 milliamp-hour battery, whereas this is only a 1600 milliamp-hour battery. But obviously they've got to push more pixels to the display, and it's got a better chip, so that's going to use some of the that will eliminate some of the gap, but it's still got a better battery in the Samsung. But when you look at the price of €100, you go to Newegg, and after you pay tax, £95, it's considerably more expensive. So would I get the Samsung purely because the experience is going to be a lot similar. You're not going to notice that much difference in terms of performance. So that's the first one. That's the Galaxy. So far, in my opinion, so good. You know, the Galaxy was considerably more expensive. The Nokia 1 is the next phone that I'm featuring here that has Android Go. And again, this one has very similar specs. In my opinion, the M1 looks so much nicer, in my opinion. I don't like the way the display kind of like curves down there. I like this more square look, rectangular look. And straight off the bat, I can already see that it is using the exact same display because the pixel, it's exactly the same resolution. 5 megapixel camera, 2 megapixel camera. This is looking like it's going to be the exact same specs. Micro SD card support up to 128 gig. Obviously, that is considerably more than what the M1 supports, but again, we're going to see in a minute as to why that is. Dual SIM again. This one uses nano SIM as well, which obviously that may be with an adapter. Battery, 2150 milliamp hour battery. That's not as much bigger as the M1. It's 400 milliamp hours larger, roughly. Sorry, 550 milliamp hours larger than the battery on the M1. Again, a lot of the same specs. Again, Mali T720. MediaTek. This is the exact same chip. So this Electroneum M1 is using the exact same CPU as the Nokia 1. But then if we look at the price, we're looking at €100, which is around $70–80. No, it's more than that. Sorry, €100 is more than $100. Sorry. Let me just type this in. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. $113. You could probably pick it up less than that. But does it say? Yeah, £80 in the UK, $85 in the US. So not a lot of difference, technically more expensive. But now moving on to the Nokia 2.1. Again, I'm not going to go into detail much with this one. This is a beefed up version of the Nokia 1. This one, you could probably argue that it doesn't even need to run Android Go because it can also run up to Android Pie 9.0 on the Android 1 software, which is stock Android. And as you can see here, it's using a Snapdragon processor this time, which will be a considerably better. It is a considerably better chip. You got a much better display. You got a 720 by 1280. That's basically just standard HD content, but much better than the display that's on the M1. But again, this one it's stating around here around €100. But this, it's around £100, which is going to be around $130. It's like I said, it's going to be more expensive than the Nokia 1, obviously, because it's the same manufacturer. They're not going to make this the same price as that one. Now things get a bit interesting here, because these are phones that you don't really hear about, but they are more like in these regions already. This is the Micromax, I don't know how to pronounce this, Barak Go, which obviously the Go is standing for the Android Go. This phone is very similar in terms of specs. You've got your Android 8.0 Go edition, you've got the MediaTek MT6737, which is the exact same as this. 6735, sorry. That's the 37. That might even be a typo, you never know. I doubt it. But Quad-core 1.1 gigahertz, Cortex A53 exactly the same. Micro SD card support up to 32 gigs, exactly the same as this. 8 gigabytes of RAM, 8 gigabytes of storage, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and a 5 megapixel front camera, 5 megapixel selfie camera, so that is 3 megapixel more than the M1. But again, you've got the exact same display and everything. Dual SIM. This one is coming out at 4,400 Indian rupees, which is actually around $70. Yeah, around $75, $70. So this one's actually a little bit cheaper. It's also got a 2,000 milliamp hour battery. It is all of these phones you're seeing. It's very comparable. It's very much they're on a line. Obviously, the Samsung and the Nokias are the most expensive ones, but now we go to the Lava Z50. And again, this is very much exactly the same. Again, you've got the exact same display again. You've got and I just want to say with the displays as well, these ones that have the 480 by 854, they've all got the 218 PPI density. They've all got it. Going to the chipset. Again, the MediaTek 6737 28 nanometer process, exactly the same nanometer process in the Electroneum M1. The Mali T720 GPU, exactly the same. This one supports up to 64 gigs of micro SD card storage. Like I said, the M1 32 gigs. 5 megapixel selfie camera, 5 megapixel rear camera. 2,000 milliamp hour battery. This one again is coming out around the $70 range. So as you can see, Electroneum's M1 is not overpriced like what a lot of comments are coming out saying. This is very it's very competitive. It's very competitively priced. It's very well priced for where they're going. Like I said, all of these phones are already in these regions, and these phones are probably, especially these two cheaper alternatives, are probably doing really well considering the specs. Because if they run anything like this at the $80 sub price point, then you can't really go wrong. I've not had any game-breaking issues with using this device. You know, it's been a nice phone to use. It's been a nice phone to have phone calls on. It's been a nice phone to scroll through Facebook, Instagram, etc. And as you can see, the Electroneum M1 is priced very competitively. I want people to stop talking about these $40 pieces of rubbish, which that is not how you're going to get people using smartphones, because they're just not worth using. They are they're just on the point of being unusable. They're made really cheaply. They're not optimized whatsoever. Android Go Edition, you know you're getting the updates. And Android Go Edition phones have to go through Google approval as well. So you know that you're getting a smartphone that is going to be updated constantly. You're going to make sure you're getting your security patches. You're going to make sure you're getting your optimization updates as well. Really good, really good. So if you like this comparison, guys, please leave a like on this video. I will keep you updated on when the M1 becomes available, etc. I can't wait for it to become available. I want to try and get all my mates and stuff to just get one anyway for the sake of it. I doubt they will, but like I said, it's not at a price point that is unaffordable, because people in these regions are affording these other alternatives that are competitively priced around the same. And Samsung and Nokia especially will not price those phones like that, knowing that people can't afford them. So that's what I have to say about that. So like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys out in the next video. Peace out.